Kiss. Kiss. 106.5.
You've got this book out which you detail a lot of stuff that it's a real page turner, this book. But one of the stories that is getting a lot of traction is how you've been catfished. You've been dating someone online for 6 years, even speaking to them on the phone.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a guy, it was a girl putting on a guy's voice.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine my surprise, really.
Yeah.
But this is let me take you back 10 years ago, 16, just one idol.
Settle in, everyone. We're here.
Settle
for a
in.
long
We're
story.
here. No, I'm going to get it down to a nutshell.
So you become our idol.
I became the idol
Yeah.
for 2004. Then I went on to tour.
Yeah.
And whilst on tour, I got a phone call from a dude.
Yeah.
And I told this dude, look, mate, you can't have my number. Go away.
Yeah.
Just go away. Anyway, persistence, kept calling back.
Yeah.
At that time, this is prior to MySpace. I'm talking even prior to Bebo at this stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
You know,
like
this is 2004.
This is like when we had digital watches.
I know, we're still probably dialing up. But anyway, so that was, all I had was a phone connection and a dude's voice on the other end of the line. He, we spoke and just, he kind of hooked me in and I was like, you know what, I'm on tour.
Yeah.
I'm a bit lonely. I was on tour for a month and a half and I was just like, you know what, I can deal with this. It's
Yeah.
a phone call. And it's, hey, going? And it's real down here and real surfy.
Yeah.
And I'm
Right.
thinking, wow, I was really attracted to surfies back then. And then we, one thing led to another. That comes later in the story.
Yep.
But, he organised to come and pick me up from the airport and I was so excited and so nervous and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
someone's interested in me. Someone
Yeah, well,
loves,
that's not. It would have been a
almost
nice
loves
feeling.
me. It was a beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
And
you would have known. He would have known all about you. He was a
Yeah.
mystery to you, but he knew who you
a
were.
massive mystery.
Did he tell you what he looked like? Was
Yeah.
he, he
Oh
went
my
into
God.
great detail,
Amazing.
Right?
And, back then there was a thing called Face Party. And so he showed me his profile and I was there, I remember, with Ricky Lee and Amali in her room. And we're sitting there and we've all just gone,
So he whatever photo this girl put up of this guy
Yeah.
that you thought he was gorgeous.
So at
this
that
point,
time,
yep.
I had no idea that there was a chick involved
Face
whatsoever.
party never took off though, did it?
No, it
Sounds
didn't.
good.
No, it
Sounds good.
So he plans to meet you at the airport.
Yeah, plans to meet me and pick me up when we go for a drive in between flights to back on tour.
Obviously, for him to have his way with you and you to connect,
Sure,
and pass and carry on.
But
What
obviously
else?
he doesn't show. So what happens? What does he say?
his mate turns up and it was this girl, Olga, in the book, and she turns up and I'm sitting there going, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I tried calling him, he didn't answer, and then I get a text message from her because we'd spoken on the phone. He'd introduced us oddly enough, and yeah, she turns up and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, you're scaring me because I have no idea who you are.
Right.
And
And he sent her in replace of him.
yeah, in replace of him. So, although she was scary, I put
What
my
do you mean
trust in-
scary?
Just her persona. It was just, this.
What, crazy fan sort of scary? Or
I don't know. It's kind of like a bulldog walking up to you. You kind of go, oh my God, yeah, that's cute. No,
Give me
what's
that.
wrong
No.
with this picture?
And
But-
what? And where did he say he was and why he couldn't?
Oh,
be
he was
there?
a bit drunk. He was a bit tipsy from the night before, so he couldn't drive.
Okay.
And then,
And you're believable because he's like a surfy type. You're
Exactly.
like, oh, yeah, typical.
On
Yeah.
the terps. And, I trusted this dude, and I think we had this rapport now that we'd been talking pretty much every night on tour and got to know each other. And
Was there any phone sex?
later on there was.
Oh, was there?
Oh,
well,
yeah,
let's
it
fast
took-
forward to that bit. Fast forward through the Olga Bulldog thing.
Yeah, Olga Bulldog.
Let's
Yeah,
get straight to the
fast
sex.
forward. Yeah, look, that came a bit later. I got back from tour, and he was a bit raunchy and rowdy on the phone, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of took the piss a bit and just said, oh yeah, I'm having so much fun right now, and
Yeah.
I wasn't actually doing anything. I was just sitting there laughing and trying not to lose it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never had this experience before, and it kind of blew me away, and.
And was he like, I'm touching myself?
Yeah, no, it was a
Touching
bit
my-
more in detail.
All right, yeah, yeah.
But,
We can imagine. We can imagine.
Yeah, we can imagine. Leave that to the imagination. But
So how long does this go on for?
6 years.
6 years.
This goes on for.
6 long.
Now, what I
years.
want to know is how many times had he arranged to meet you in the 6 years?
look, there were pretty much every weekend and every day I was trying to get something to happen because back then my intuition was going, there's something not right, but this
But you wanted
I'm
to
hearing,
believe
I
it.
wanted to believe
Yeah.
it. And the longer we talked, the more I fell for this dude. And, he told me I was beautiful. And when I was having a crap day, did a crap gig, he'd come
Yeah.
back and go, you're beautiful. I love you. There's nothing wrong with you. And
Right.
that's something I wanted
So
to
it's
hear.
fulfilling that part of a relationship
Yeah.
really well,
So-
filling that,
just
doing his
minus
job.
the
the
realness.
realness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 6 years he leads you on, and he keeps making excuses, obviously.
So you're having
But-
sex with no one for 6 years.
And at what
Yeah,
point do
kinda.
you find out that
Kind
he
of.
doesn't exist and that it was this Olga girl all along?
Look, towards the end of the relationship, at that point, I was doing the Sapphires, and I had some life coaching.
that's right,
with
you
a
did that
beautiful
movie.
lady. Yeah, oh, not the
No,
movie, the
the-
stage
Oh,
play.
whatever. That's right. Yeah, the lesser known.
I was doing that and traveling around, and I was with the beautiful Christine Anu and Holly Andrews, and they were just telling stories, and just their strength was making me going, there's something not right here. So I started searching for answers as to why this isn't happening, and there were more girls coming onto the scene, and I was getting a bit, not jealous, but very protective, like, you can't have him because I haven't had him.
Right,
That's
yes,
not going to
yes,
happen.
yes.
Yeah.
And I just started questioning everything and searching for things, and I knew something wasn't right, and I had to prove to myself that I wasn't the fool. I wasn't dumb. I wasn't that stupid to believe that this person was not real. I had to prove it to myself, because I actually started going, am I mentally ill? And I was searching, and it took, right up until, a gig I did up the coast, and my manager was there, and I had this massive Facebook fight, as you do, and with this dude, and I just said, I can't do it. I can't do it. I've loved you for so long, and you still haven't turned up. You're still not here. I can't. And I
Yeah.
got up on stage and
Fair
started
enough.
singing and just broke down on stage. And after that, my manager kind of just went, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And
And what about this Olga person? Has she come in? Have you seen
She's-
her
yeah.
a few more times?
yeah,
or?
yeah. Look, me
So
and
she
Olga,
keeps showing up.
me and Olga became very close, like sisters, and matching tattoos and all. And it was,
Like a surrogate for him.
yeah, pretty much. And, I'd go running and crying to her, why isn't he here? You know him. Please tell me he's real. And, I'd get fed the lies again. He's real. Why would you question me on that? Why are you asking me these questions?
Really?
And I'd sit there, I didn't know.
So no wonder you carried on thinking this
Yeah,
for so long.
I didn't know where to run, and I was like, why are you treating me like I'm stupid? I'm not stupid. Like, just tell me, if he's not real, I will deal with this. I
Yeah.
will deal with this, but you need to tell me. And still kept going, kept pushing it, kept feeding me this lie. And when I told my manager, we sat in the car for an hour, and I just bursted it out. I've never met him. I don't know who he is.
Oh, wow.
And kind of went through all of that. And Jason, my manager, he's like, have you ever thought it could be her? And I was like, she's like my sister. There is no one that could be so nasty to do that.
Yeah, for so long.
For so long, a ridiculous amount of time. And, towards the end, I'd had it. And when I finally found out that it was her a year after completely stopping and ceasing all contact with her, I called her up one night, completely off my tits, for lack of a better word. And I was just that angry. And I was like, you
Unbelievable.
need to tell me. I need to know this, because it is destroying my life.
Yeah, you
need
deserve to
tell
know
me.
the truth. Everyone deserves.
And, she beat it around the bush and, ran so far around it. And I was like, mate, it's up. Just say it. And I was so thankful that
She
my
said
manager's
it?
partner was there to actually witness that with me, because
Yeah.
if no one was there with me, I'd still be telling myself that I'm stupid, that I'm,
so Olga came clean. She said it was her.
Eventually, she did in the end. And
And I'd heard also that Olga had even been intimate with you on the fake request of the fake boyfriend.
yeah, and
Like
that's
the
what,
boyfriend had said, "Oh, you two should hook up since I'm not there. I'm surfing."
yeah.
Suggested that you and the Olga should have some sort of weird girly scissor thing happening.
Yeah, not so much scissor.
Well, I don't know. Well, please feel free to elaborate.
But look, it was when it all fell apart. I looked back on the situations, and I felt dirty. I felt used. I
Casey,
felt
no.
abused, and
But so many people go through this.
so many
Yeah, they
people.
do.
And to have him on the phone going, "Oh, it'd be really hot. You should, do it." And to me, it didn't feel like I was cheating, because it was okay, and I didn't expect anything to happen. I told him where to go, and it's never going to happen in a million years,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah, yeah.
Don't even think about it. And then
There you were.
What do you
hand
know?
down pants.
a few weeks later, she pulls a move, and I'm like, all right,
It's on.
okay.
What move
it's
did she
kind of
pull?
on. It was just, the sly kiss on the, bed and the...
Yeah, and then the hand and the...
and then the whatever. You can read about it, I'm sure, if your
Did you
stomach
bring a
can
copy of the
take
book?
that. I did.
Okay, I'll read. I'll come
So
through that
coming
now.
up next, Casey, stick around because Carl, what may surprise you in this book is that after this incident, Casey then had a bit of a sex addiction and was sleeping with lots of different guy every second night.
Are you joking? Is that true?
Yeah.
You're not making that up?
No, so we will talk about that next.
Sleeping with a different guy every night?
Every
Kinda,
second night,
yeah.
I think it was.
How idle, Casey!
I'm not 16 anymore, but
You're out idle.
I know. Bless my
believe it.
socks.
We're going to find out how many blokes you did and what exactly happened blow by blow. I mean, step by step.
All right, Casey, stick around.
Next.
We'll talk to you about that. Yes. You say in the book that your self-esteem became so low that you slept with a different man every 2 days. So where
Jackie can't get her mouth around
how
that.
was this happening? Who were you meeting? Yeah, what was going on there?
Look, I was down in the dumps and I needed to get out there and, I guess I wanted to feel the warmth of somebody next to me that wasn't Olga.
And that was real.
And that was real, and that was a dude that had things that I could use. And, it took a lot of guts for me because at that time I was still a virgin. I was virgin until I was 23. And
Oh, wow.
yeah,
So how did you lose your virginity?
well, I kind of went on a rampage on the online dating apps and set up a profile and, was stressing out going, oh my God, all it's going to take is for someone to go, I just slept with Casey Donovan.
Yeah.
Bang. And
Was the profile Casey Donovan or someone fake?
no, it was me.
You-
It was
yeah, you
Oh,
weren't
she wasn't.
Yeah.
She'd just
It
been
was-
burned by the fake person,
Yeah.
Jackie.
yeah. So
How
it
could
took
you even ask that?
it took a lot to put trust into things and go, someone's yet again going to screw me over. But
Yeah.
thankfully, every dude I met was true to their profile. I had one doozy. We like to call him George's Hall. It's read the book.
George's
It's
hole.
George's Hall.
Oh, hole.
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
What
quite
was-
hilarious. Well, he didn't have a profile picture, and I thought, you know what, he's nice. We're chatting on the phone, as you do, and
You've been doing a lot of chatting on the
a
phone.
lot of chatting on the phone, and then I met up with him, and I just I painted this picture in my head of what he'd look like, and was nothing about what that picture was.
What
and,
was he like?
Oh, look, he was really tall and skinny, and he had bruises on his face because he did MMA and played soccer, and I was just like, was not attracted to this dude whatsoever, and I was like, how do I get out of this situation? So what does Casey do? She goes for a walk with him into, over this bridge onto this little island in George's Hall, and yeah, it was just horrible. There was kissing, and I was just,
Not enjoying it.
not enjoying it, almost vomiting, and I know that's a really bad thing to
Why
say because
stay
I am
there?
not
What-
perfect. I didn't know how to get out of the situation because I'd never been in that situation before,
yeah.
so
Right.
I was, looking at exit strategies and all of that. But
How far did you let it go?
oh look, just a few kisses,
Okay,
and then
right.
I got sent out an SOS to my dresser in the Sapphires. I was like, "Can you call me, please?"
Yeah.
Now.
Okay.
Oh, right, it's the
Right
way
now.
out of
It's an
there.
Yeah.
emergency.
And,
So,
but what about the sleeping with the guys? How many guys was there?
Look, there's a fair few under
Yeah.
my belt. I kind of it
So
was
you went
a
from
way.
virgin to quite a few under your belt.
Look, I've made up for the lost time. Let's
Yeah.
just say that, and
And everyone kept quiet.
everyone kept quiet. Surprisingly,
But they knew who you were, obviously.
Some of them did, some of them didn't, which was really nice. And the ones that didn't, I just felt so much more comfortable because there wasn't that preconceived idea of, oh my
Right.
God, you're Casey Donovan.
Yeah.
I'm, going to do things to you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
which
yeah.
is the biggest turn off in the whole wide world.
And did you do things you didn't really want to do?
Look, I'm all up for experimenting, but look, putting trust in people and especially randoms online was.
Yeah.
I look back now and just think, that was quite stupid of me, and I've calmed down a lot now in the last 6 months. But yeah, there was a lot of things going through my head, and I just thought that every person that I slept with after that whole incident was another person I was getting away from. It was another emotion that I could let go of and escape from what
Right.
I was in.
Yeah.
So it was an addiction in a sense of getting away from something. And
Are you with anyone special now?
no, I'm still single, and
Oh.
I've calmed myself down, and
Yep.
I haven't had any fun this year, and I think that's a good thing for
None
me
at
now.
all?
None at all. No.
Gee.
But it's only March, so
It's
that's
March.
okay.
The third month.
It's not like we're in September, so Well, you can get the book because it was on sale as of Saturday, so you can buy it. It's an amazing read. Casey Donovan, big, beautiful, and sexy. Thank you so much for joining us,
I hope you're
Casey.
still doing tours and singing. I hope this hasn't ruined your career.
No, it hasn't. And if anything, it's it's given me more willpower to get out there and to help other people out there that have gone through similar situations, and to let them know that your voice is allowed to be heard, and to not be scared if you are fearful that this is happening to you. There are so many things you can visit, and
Go with your gut too.
go
right?
with your instinct, and if something's not right, and don't let it go for so long. I had family and everyone telling me this was wrong, what I was doing, there's something fishy here, and because I was so in love, I pushed everyone away.
Yeah.
And that's what they want you to do.
Yeah.
And so, jump on Skype, have Skype conversations with them, make sure you see their faces, get them to hold up a paper
proof sign or
to
something.
proof
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
to give you proof that it's them. And
Well, it's all in the book. Casey's book, Big, Beautiful, and Sexy. It's available right now. I am going to read that because it sounds like an incredible story. Because we all think we know you, but there's a lot we don't know.
There's a lot we don't.
What chapter does the filthy sex stuff
15?
start?
I think it is, yeah.
We're starting
Off
at
your pop.
15. I know the rest.
Yeah.
I know all the earlier stuff. I watched it.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank you,
Good to
guys.
have you in studio
Thanks,
this
love.
morning.
oh
Oh
Kiss. Kiss. 1065.